What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. America's, leaders will need a phone, a smartphone. They're gonna need Alexa and Siri. So I was listening to somebody, I want to say on Facebook or Instagram, and they were talking about how the attention span has gotten shorter. Why are these 7-second clips so important? Because they're trying to dumb down people's attention span. Why has the music went from 4 minutes, 5 minutes to 4 minutes to 3 minutes to 2 minutes? Because the attention spans are shorter. Why are the why are the movies hitting so hard in the beginning? Because there's not a slow build anymore. They got to hit you right in there and get you hooked in the first like 2 or 3 minutes of the movie, because the attention spans are shorter. And why are the phones getting smarter and the people are getting dumber? Because the attention spans are shorter, because people aren't curious for information. They're curious for entertainment. So, excuse me. So with all that being said, what do you think is going to happen to the next generation of leaders? They're going to need a phone to think. I remember being a child and teenager, and they made us put away a calculator, because it was like, look, if the calculator's doing all the work for you, how do we know if you can actually think it out yourself? Because if you're using a calculator, you're not thinking. And what you see is a society of people using their phones and not thinking. So actually being hands-on in life is a secondary thing or a tertiary thing. So don't be surprised if your next generation of doctors are going to need Google. They may not be able to figure out a problem. They're going to need Bing or a tablet. They're going to need the internet. They can't think it through. So, a show like House, when the guy was a genius, he was putting stuff together, he was trying stuff that, deductive reasoning, reverse engineering, all that might be a thing of the past, because it's, let me just use my phone. Lawyers might not be as good because they can't think. They're going to have to use their phones. Judges may not be able to rule. Let me just use my phone. So now kids are so accustomed to just da-da-da. So when you ask a question, can these kids answer questions without a phone? See what I'm saying? So don't be surprised in the next 20 years that the president of the United States, is going to need a phone. Like we've already had in the last 20 years. They looked at George W. Bush as not that bright. Prior to George W. Bush being looked at as that bright, that was Dan Quayle. They looked at Ronald Reagan as having Alzheimer's. He was cool, but he used he must be trippy. Who else was it? Barack seemed smart. They viewed President Trump as, well, President Obama was viewed as a smart. President Trump, depends on who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? Depends on who you're talking to. Is he smart like a fox, or is he dumber than the dumb people who think he's smart like a fox? Or is he smarter than the dumb people who think he's smart like a fox? It depends on who you're talking to. People look at Joe Biden as, so intellect isn't really a primary thing anymore, like in leadership. So now when the phone leads the people, I can say Apple and Android have more influence over the world than the actual world leaders. And Apple and Android have your children, have our children. You get what I'm saying? Have our nieces and nephews and cousins. And now what can they view a problem holistically and find a solution that could work for a multitude of people? I don't think so. And, we already live in a country where you look at at Congress, you view them as a collective bunch of incompetent people who are getting paid to do nothing. So Welcome to the Matrix, right? Now, we're to blame for being the parents? Is the school to blame? Because even in school, you can use your phone or tablet in school. Some ways it's good, some ways it's bad. You know, they took cursive out of school. So now I can write in cursive and I'm a dinosaur now. You see what I'm saying? So now you got people signing their signatures looking like a 5-year-old and they're grown. Not even good handwriting as young adults. But it's evolved from that to just press a button. Press a button as your signature. So everything that's working in society is just based on the fact that you need a phone for everything. And because you need a phone for everything, our leaders are going to need a phone for everything. Which direction you think we're going to go in as a country? Is that a positive or a negative? Are we evolving and changing with the times for the better? Or are we, making a one-way trip to idiocracy? You tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Peace.